I don't know if you have some news of Don Wilson. He seems very silent. tell him, tell him I'm not going to put the makeup on. Maybe he got so scared with Tong Po, he thinks. Tell him that's just a makeup. Please tell him, por favor.
The greatest sport kickboxer of all time, Don the Dragon Wilson yourself, was called out by the greatest movie kickboxer of all time, Tong Po, aka Mohammed Qissi. What are your thoughts?
And the dragon. It's just a movie kickboxer. Don't be scared. He's just going to be with Mohammed with this his nice smile in the ring. So don't you worry.
My thoughts are it'd be a great thing. It's a great show. I really think it would be. People would like to see it. They're doing these exhibition bouts now. That's what they call them, exhibitions. Now, look, I've done just sparring in the gym. Sometimes things get out of control, and
Sure.
and they turn into competitive events. And I expect something like this is a thing where Michel would not want to look bad, and I'm not going to make him look bad in any way. And not trying to hurt him, of course. I've never tried to hurt any of my opponents hurt in a permanent way. You know, it's just a sport, and just to spar on an exhibition, you up the level of your intensity as necessary, basically.
What are you guys doing? This is supposed to be an exhibition. You understand? An exhibition.
So if he wants to go, all out, we'll go all out. And whatever happens, happens. And, it's safe because they have a qualified referee who knows to stop the fights. Somebody can't defend themselves intelligently is the way the term is. It's if you are not intelligently defending yourself, they stop it.
Sure.
And that's not even an exhibition. That's in professional fights. So this will be a safe thing. And I'm sure some, athletic commissions will sanction it. And we'll have a great time. The audience will get to see something.
It's a major event. I love the idea.
Because he's saying he needs to test me, right? Like
If I go in the ring, let's say I spar with Don Wilson, I can give you a better result. See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
you have a better idea, sure.
If I go with him, I can tell you because I went with Jean-Claude.
Obviously, he can't just watch my fights and make a judgment of what kind of quality fighter I am. Now, it seems like for 28 years, judges could decide the quality of my fights and would give me, I got 72 wins, 48 knockouts.
Again, Jean-Claude is another level. Means fighters know fighters. Don Wilson will not last one round.
Look, what he's saying is ridiculous. I mean, he's doing the Frank Dukes thing. If you say something so ridiculous, there's an odd a dynamic where people think, well, Don, if he doesn't think Don could last one round with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Don Wilson will not last one round.
Now, what about what is he saying about Maurice Smith? Because Maurice Smith didn't just go one round. We went 11 rounds, and I won a decision. And James Waring, IBF boxing champion, WKA kickboxing champion, I went 11 rounds with him and won. Dennis Alexio, ISKA world heavyweight champion. I went 12 rounds with him.
Don Wilson definitely won the fight by showing his strategic abilities and his desire to maintain his title.
Don, let's go back to Mohammed. What do you know about his actual background as a fighter?
I know he's a boxer.
Okay.
Because I'm reading. I've never seen him do anything. But I know he was a boxer. And
he's got over 30 knockouts as an amateur, Don. Over 30 knockouts as an amateur. So he's got some power in those hands.
Yeah. I guess 30 knockouts, amateur boxers. That's better than not having it. But you know what I mean? But you got to realize the very first boxer I ever boxed was rated 8th in the world professionally. The first time I ever boxed a guy, and we were dead even. We were dead even. Maybe he got the better of me if you're counting points. But And that's the first boxer I ever boxed. I never boxed before. I went to a boxing gym,
Mm-hmm.
and usually, like everybody knows, I'm a kickboxer, so they put in whoever they think is the guy that's going to dominate me.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because they don't know me. And listen, I'm not saying I beat the guy. I didn't beat the guy. You know, he would have outpointed me and whatever, because it was the first time I ever boxed. I was throwing back fists, ridge hands, you know, reverse punches. He was boxing.
Mm-hmm.
But I've trained with many world champion boxers. His boxing background is still, to me, it's beginner level, you know.
Yeah, the other thing, I will say
name the
one
guy.
cool thing, Don, one cool thing
Yeah.
real quick. He got a really amazing compliment from none other than Muhammad Ali, who told him he fights like me, he moves like me. So Muhammad's really good at dancing, moving. So he's very elusive. He's hard to hit. He sparred with Ali.
He may have sparred with Ali. He's lucky to have sparred with Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, that'd be a great honor for sure.
I'm envious of him. I'll admit it, as a fighter, I wish I could have gotten to mess around with Ali. And listen, I'm not saying anything bad about it. I don't badmouth my opponents. I just,
but you don't really think he's like real competition, though.
You listen to me. You listen to me. You said, Don, he fought Maurice Smith, knocked him out. He fought Dennis Alexio, knocked him out. He fought.
He did more than that in the movie Kickboxer. He paralyzed Dennis Alexio.
Yeah. Well, his movie stuff. It's like, look, okay, here's what we're doing. We're taking like Sylvester Stallone and comparing him to Mike Tyson.
Rocky's got a chance.
And I'll let you guess which one is Mike Tyson. I mean, Michel Qissi plays a great fighter in the movies. Looks great. Looks intimidating. That's what you're supposed to do in movies. You're supposed to look like the part.
Sure.
But the sport of kickboxing, when you do it for 28 years, I've forgotten more about kickboxing than Michel Qissi ever learned.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I mean, there is a real a mass of knowledge that I have from getting in the ring, figuring out my opponent's game plan, his distancing, the timing, his speed, my speed, what he's open for, what he's not, setting him up over a couple of rounds. There is a science to fighting. Any pro world champion kickboxer will tell you that, or MMA guy. There's a science to it. It's yes, if you do a choreographed fight in a movie, there's a science to that. You got to have your body in a certain position. The camera angle's got to be a certain way. It's got to be edited just right. And you can, but the two don't mix.
Yeah,
that's
sure,
what I'm trying to. It's two people. I have people come up to me and say, Don, I saw that move you made in that one fight you did on that movie, and I've been practicing it so I can use it. And I tell them, I said, don't do anything that you see me doing. That's all fake stuff. It's not real self-defense techniques. It's a movie.
Mm-hmm.
We're literally throwing techniques that we think might look good from the camera angle, or that fits the story of the fight for the movie and thing. It's not the same. So what he did is fine, you know, and he did it great, right? You couldn't be a better bad guy than the bad guy in Bloodsport, for God's sakes. I mean, you know,
Kickboxer.
Or excuse me, Kickboxer. And you got to realize, since they are friends, I mean, he's going to show some loyalty. I mean,
I hope he will not take that bad, because I have to talk to the people honestly.
Oh yeah, sure. You want your honesty.
You know, I have to be honest.
it would be kind of sad if he came out and said the truth and just said, hey, look, Jean-Claude's an actor, Don's a real pro fighter. I mean, you know, you can't take world champion pro fighters and put them against actors.
From Thailand, the fighter's name is Tong Po, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we're about to in this upcoming event. We're about to try that.
No. Listen, no, he's got some background.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Mayweather was a great champion at like 142 pounds or whatever, and he went, I don't know how many, they went 10, 11 rounds or something. No, 9 rounds with they called him a YouTuber, but that guy's big, much bigger than me, stronger than me, younger than me. Logan Paul. That guy's big. I saw him in the gym, and he's strong. And look, Mayweather's in his 40s. He's not training like a real fighter anymore. I mean, In other words, there's reasons, but it was interesting to watch, right?
Oh yeah, well, it
Fun
was.
to watch. And that's what was going to happen with me and Michel Qissi. I'm not looking at it like he's some great kickboxer that I might be able to overcome in a 12-round fight, world title fight. No, of course not. Who's he ever beat? Nobody.
Yeah, you're definitely not the underdog in this
30
one,
knockouts.
Don.
If you said Don, he fought Marvin Hagler and knocked him out in the third round. Marvin was 28 years old. He was in his prime. He knocked Marvin Hagler. Believe me, I'd be impressed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying you name one win, then. You tell me he's got 30 wins, 30 knockouts in the amateurs, 30 knockouts. Who are they? Who are the fighters? You're only as good as the guys you beat. And like I told you, go do my record and you look at the guys I beat. That's my record.
Have you ever met Qissi, by the way?
Yes, I met Qissi. And matter of fact, and I immediately, and I don't remember when, but immediately I asked him, I said, hey, I did an exhibition match once, and Chuck Norris was there sitting with Van Damme. And when Van Damme saw me get in the ring, he got up and walked out of the auditorium. I said, why would he do something like that? And Michel Qissi said, this is what he told me. He said, Jean-Claude thinks everybody thinks like him. And he said, if he was you, Don, if he was a real kickboxing champion, he would have challenged the actor sitting. He was afraid I was going to challenge him in front of the audience.
Okay.
And so he got up and he just left. Now, I would never have done that. But first of all, me and Benny Urquidez, Bill Wallace, we are what they call the classic guys. We come from traditional martial arts. We don't insult each other.
Mm-hmm.
I would never have insulted Van Damme or did anything. And look, I was not there for any big money fight. It was an exhibition. But I told you, he is so ignorant. He's like Frank Dukes in that regard. They don't know kickboxing, my history. Michel Qissi doesn't know it. He says
The only problem, he gets hit too much.
that the trouble with my style is I get hit too much.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think I told you the best thing about my fighting style is my defense.
Yeah.
It's not my offense. But he doesn't even know that. He doesn't know my background enough to know that I fought the best fighters at 4 different weight divisions for 28 years, all over the world, under sets of rules and in their hometowns. And I was still a dominant world champion for that many years. And look at Van Damme's muscles. It's not a bodybuilding contest. If I get hit by a bicep, you'll see me start doing curls. But biceps don't jump up and hit me on the jaw. You know what I mean?
We can go talk back and forth, but the best is the ring.